The next exercise we're going to do are the side to sides. And again, you're not going to start where I started today. The reason that you're doing these is because we're trying to strengthen the muscles on the sides of your hips and legs so that if you are bumped from the side, you can easily catch yourself. If you lose your balance to the side, you can easily catch yourself and bring yourself back to the middle. And we're looking for symmetry. We're looking for having equal strength on both sides because that will help you not have as much of a difference in how you're walking. And again, as we age, these movements decrease substantially. And when we age then with some challenges to movement, we are even more likely to have challenges to movement within the pelvis. So I would like you to start at parallel bars or a counter. You must be holding on, and we'll say this is my parallel bars even though this is too low, but it is a pretty solid chair. It's not going to tip over very easily when I push down on it. And I want you to get into your optimal standing position. If you're at a counter this way, I want you to lean into the counter, just like we've been doing all the way along. And when you're leaning into the counter, just let your hips rest there on the counter. The hard part of this exercise is not moving your head and shoulders, keeping them exactly in midline. You'll see me mess that up a little bit, but that's just because, you know, I'm not any more able than any of the rest of you. What you're wanting to do at the counter, and I'm going to show you front on in a minute, but you're wanting to move your hips to one side, hold it, and then slowly back to the other side and hold it. One side, hold it, back to the other side, hold it. I doubt you'll be able to go as far as I can go in the beginning. I'm going to kick this away a little bit farther because I want a little more hip width because my hip width is not narrow. So it looks like this. Hips going to one side, hips going to the other side. Hips going to one side, and then back to the other side. I want, if one side only goes this or this far, I don't want you to take this side way over to here. I just want you to do it equally on both sides. You may feel a stretch along here when you're doing this on either side. If I go this way, I might feel a stretch over here. And again, that's because you've got some muscle tightness there. But I really do want you to have symmetry. Gradually, you're going to be able to be at the counter, feet apart, and you're going to be able to really widen that sway. And when I widen the sway, as you're looking at me here, I want you to see if I hold my shoulders and head right in midline, or if I let them go. So I'm going to widen the sway. Oops, this shoulder tipped down, didn't it? Don't want that to happen. So there we go. And then I'm going to widen the sway over here, and this shoulder tipped down. So I want to do it this way without that shoulder tipping down. It's hard for me to do. What I also you can do as a progression of this And this isn't day 1. This is day 30 or 40 or whatever. I want you to sway to one side and pick your one leg up a little bit, or just put your weight on your toes. If your hip drops down like this when you do that, number 1, you've gone too far. But number 2, I want you to go to the point where it doesn't tip down, which for me is right about here, because the muscle that prevents my hip from tipping down is not as strong as it could be. And if I go over to this side, I can hold it without having my foot on the floor. But on this side, it tips down. So my goal then is to hold right here so it does not tip down. I don't want you to fatigue doing this, and if your muscles start hurting, I want you to stop. Gradually, you should be able to really have a pretty wide sway while you're doing this, and not go as fast as I was going there, but you could go slowly. You're retraining your brain about what it feels like to do this movement. You can do it quickly and look like a girl on the Miss Universe pageant, swaying her hips, but you don't need to. So do it at different speeds, and you'll find you can hold on less and less. Now, when I'm not holding on, I want you to see what I do. Instead of being able to go way over here, the amplitude or width of the sway is much less when I'm not holding on, because I don't have the control to take it way over to here without wanting to grab onto something. And are you guys watching my shoulders? They look awful. They're going up and down. They should be staying right in midline and at parallel levels. You can gradually, over a couple of months or a year or whatever, do some sidestepping. And when you do that, you get in the optimal standing position again. And you step to the side, and you bring the other leg right up to the first leg. Step to the side, bring the leg up. And in doing that, you're integrating a more typical movement pattern than just the ones we were doing statically. I'll see if I can do that here. I have another railing in the way, but like this, and back again. And you want to do that slowly. And you can also do it fast. Or you can make it wider. Much less control on my part there. You see my hands flapping as I'm trying to get better control. Okay, I think that's all on this one. Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, you've really succeeded when you can do a grapevine, or a weave as they call it, where you bring one leg behind the other and step, and then, but that's pretty hard to do, and anybody that tries that before they've had their braces for years, shouldn't be doing that.